What's going on, everyone? So Christian Wood is still active and on the market, and so far, nothing. All the reports that we have gotten, at least at the time of recording this video, is that he is receiving nothing more than vet minimum contracts. And it has nothing to do with his talent level. There was, without a doubt, Christian Wood is a very talented player. This is a 17-8 guy that can basically be a three-level scorer and do anything for a big man. And that is very valuable. Now, he's not a true big man. He's more of a power forward than he is a center, but he is very valuable. And he's still very young in the sense of what he can bring to a roster. And he's a guy that I think in the right situation and in the right environment, I really do think that he can thrive, right? His big issue is character and locker room, right? That's been the big knock on him. That's why he's struggling to find a job, because it's like you're good, but you're not that good to where you can be just this crazy disruptive talent in the locker room. But how much of that is attributed to just like he was on a just dysfunctional Houston team at the time, and then goes to Dallas, and Dallas has been an absolute mess, and it's just like, can I get some stability here? Can I get an understanding of what my role is? I was your second best player next to Luka, and like I can't even see the court, right? And it's not because of defense. Like I see a lot of people that were like, well, because he was terrible defensively. So was like everyone on that roster except for Dorian Finney-Smith, right? Like they had like two defenders on that roster. Like it's not like they were just like flushed with just great 3-and-D guys and Luka. Like no, like it just nobody was playing defense. So I think in the right environment, the right situation, comes in with the Lakers. He's got some stability. He's got some structure. He's got, LeBron James. He's got some coaching that really are player guys, right? Got a guy in, Darvin Ham who will, be that leader and be that player coach, and a guy that you just want to run through a brick wall for, Phil Handy. I mean, come on, the name speaks for itself. So Christian Wood, and I've said this repeatedly, I think Christian Wood needs the Lakers more than the Lakers need Christian Wood. I think the Lakers are totally fine without Christian Wood. Now, obviously, it would be great to get him, a versatile big that can give you 17 and 8 every single night. It's very valuable, right? That's very important, and that could be the difference between you winning and losing an NBA championship, right? Getting a 17 and 8 guy, especially if he's willing to come in, play his role, do what is asked of him. At a vet minimum, Christian Wood might be one of, if not the best, like contract to player ratio in the league. But there are a lot of concerns with Christian Wood. And so far, we're still playing the waiting game. Now, we're still, a month and a half or whatever out before training camp and stuff like that. So there's not necessarily a rush. And Christian Wood is taking his time and he's playing it out, and we'll see what ultimately ends up happening with that. We've even heard reports that have came out about Dallas would like to sign and trade Christian Wood, and that that the Lakers and Dallas have supposedly had talks and are trying to maybe look into something like that. That doesn't mean that it will happen, but it's something that is at least being thrown out there, right? And at the end of the day, you got a 6'9", 6'10" guy with a 7'3" wingspan that can do a little bit of everything. That has its value. But is it worth waiting for, right? The Lakers need a center. They do. And Christian Wood, he doesn't really provide necessarily the traditional center that the Lakers could use, right? Like the Lakers could use a more bulkier, stockier, sizable center. Problem is like the centers that are good that are still on the market are like Christian Wood and Bismack Biyombo, and Bismack Biyombo is like nothing different, right? He's better defensively, definitely, but he's like 6'8". Yes, he has like a 7'6" wingspan or something crazy like that for his height, but he is a liability on the offensive end, and just he's undersized. Right? So again, he's not a true center. He's not a guy that's going to provide that just like, oh, you can throw him at not even Jokic, right? Say like a Valanciunas or a Steven Adams or something like that, right? So he's going to provide just kind of the same just matchup as like Christian Wood as far as like size-wise goes and stuff like that. But, you could always bring in like a DeMarcus Cousins or Dwight Howard or Hassan Whiteside. Because even if the Lakers do sign Christian Wood, you still have that 15th roster spot. But here's the thing. Do you just move on and sign a center now, right? Go get a Bismack Biyombo. Go get DeMarcus Cousins, whatever, right? Do you just go get that and get it out of the way so at least you have the understanding? You still would have your 15th roster spot open, although based on the reports, the Lakers kind of want to use that on one of the two-way guys, right? Like a Colin Castleton, Demoy Hodge, somewhere along those lines. One of those two guys, have them come in and kind of fill that 15th spot. The buyout market, all of those things. Like, there's options out there. But is it worth waiting for Christian Wood, knowing that there is a real possibility that he's not going to come? Like, he wants the money. So the first place that says we'll offer you $1 more than the Lakers, maybe not $1 more, but you get the point, that we'll offer you more than the Lakers will, he's probably going to that team. Based on the reports, though, if that doesn't happen, he's coming to Lakers. If he doesn't get more than a vet minimum deal, he is headed to the Lakers. That's what all the reports say. And again, he doesn't need to rush. He doesn't need to be in a hurry. But if you're the Lakers, wouldn't you want to just if you really are interested in Bismack Biyombo, wouldn't you want to just get him, lock him up, and not have to worry about it? So now you got that defensive center that can be the backup, be the third big, and then you basically have your roster ready to go. And then if Christian Wood is like, yeah, I want to come to the Lakers, it's like, okay, fine. Like, we'll just play you at the 4 and figure it out. Right? Because it's not like if you go get Bismack Biyombo, let's say, we'll just use him as an example. Let's say you sign him. That doesn't mean you can't still sign Christian Wood, because again, he's better at the 4 spot than he is at the 5. So you could still just go AD Christian Wood and then have LeBron James play the 3 or whatever. There you go, right? And then in certain lineups and certain matchups, you could have Christian Wood play the 5. But it gives you the flexibility. So it's not like, oh man, if they go get Bismack Biyombo, or like I said, anybody, but we using him as an example, like, it's not like, oh well, that's it, that now you can't get Christian Wood, or there's no point in getting, like, no, like, you could still, I mean, it's a 17 and an 8 guy, right? Like, you're not going to say no to that. Like, you can't have too much talent. Like, that's a good problem to have. Like, if you have to figure out how to fit in Christian Wood in his 20 minutes, like, you figure it out. That's a good position to be in, right? Especially if a guy like Bismack Biyombo, because, like, even if you did sign him, right? Like, let's say they go get Biz. Like, you're telling him already, like, look, there's some nights you're not going to play. There's some nights where you will play, but, like, when Anthony Davis is good to go, you're probably not going to play very minutes, if not at all, right? You're going to have some nights where you get a DMP. So he's probably going to have that understanding regardless. So you still wouldn't have to really figure him out. You'd have to figure out, Christian Wood. And Anthony Davis and LeBron James are going to miss 30 minutes each, or 30 games each. So that you're going to be, that will make things easier in and of itself. You're going to want to try to keep both of their minutes down, so that will make it easier in and of itself. There is an argument to just move on from Christian Wood, go get another center, and then if he wants to come, figure it out, because you also run the risk, like, let's say Biz goes and signs with somebody, and then, all, like, the well's all dried up because you've been waiting for Christian Wood, and now Christian Wood doesn't come to Lakers, and it's like, well, now what do we do for center, right? Like, are we really bringing in Colin Castleton as that other center? Are we going, like, old school and going and getting DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, something like that? Like, and now we have to heavily rely on that. Get my point? Like, it's just, it becomes like an awkward, or you could find yourself in a very awkward position, kind of like, like the Kawhi Leonard situation. Now, difference is Kawhi Leonard was, at the time, a top 5 player in the league, arguably the best two-way player in the league. Like, so it's understandable waiting for him. And he was going to come until the whole Paul George thing. But, you know, like Christian Wood, you could make the argument you're fine regardless, right? So, like, the other side of that is, like, we pretty much have our roster intact. You have Jackson Hayes, you have Anthony Davis. So you're good there. You just need kind of that third body just to be that third body. I mean, obviously you want somebody serviceable. You want somebody that can come in and play and give you some minutes, but you don't need like a star in that role, right? So do you look at it as like, if we have to bring in a DeMarcus Cousins or Dwight Howard, like so be it. Like it's not that big of a deal. Or, you know, or we bring in Colin Castleton and let him get some solid minutes and it's not that big of a deal, right? And we just kind of wait it out and see who's on the buyout or something, right? Like it's not, I don't think it's this huge, like, you got to get this done. Like I think you're good either way, right? Like does Christian Wood make the Lakers better than they currently are right now? Absolutely. You're adding a 17-8 guy. But I don't think it's like he's the missing piece to win an NBA championship. I think you can still win an NBA championship even without Christian Wood. I just think Christian Wood, again, is the kind of icing on the cake or the cherry on top, right? It's like you're already good enough, but Christian Wood just makes you that much better. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think, Christian Wood? Think the Lakers should wait around for him? Do you think no? Like, move on, go get somebody else, and then if he wants to sign, leave up the 15 spot. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in